اليوم أنا وين؟ اليوم أنا بنص داون تاون تورونتو بتيف بيل لايت هاوس. هون بيصير أكبر مهرجان بتورونتو اللي هو تورونتو فيلم فيستيفال، بس اليوم أنا بتورونتو بالستاين فيلم فيستيفال. 15 سنة صار لهم بيعملوا هيدا الفيستيفال اللي بجنن، 15 فيلم صار لهم they're celebrating Palestinian cinema. مش بس بيجيبوا افلام فلسطينيه، بيجيبوا افلام لبنانيه، بيجيبوا افلام من عرب وبلدان تانية كمان. بحبه كثير لهيدا المهرجان. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of the founders. I'm a big fan of الفولنتيرز اللي بيشتغلوا على هيدا الفستيفال. بليز تذكروا انه هيدول المهرجانات وهيدا المهرجان خاصه والفيلم فيستيفالز اللي بيصيروا بتورونتو they're not for profit. سو دعموهم، نزلوا، احضروا الافلام، اشتروا تيكتس، روحوا على الايفنتس تاعولهم. I love the Toronto Palestine Film Festival. والopening film tonight هو بيروت The Eye of the Storm. المخرجة ماي مصري الفلسطينية ومصورته ببيروت documentary عن بيروت. I'm so excited. Let's go. Dania, 15 years. Tell me about how it started, how you started. You're one of the founders. وعلى الأفلام وكل شيء.
Oh my God. It seems like so long ago, but you're right, it has been 15 years. We started in 2008. A group of us got together. It was the 60th anniversary of the Nakba, and we wanted to find a way to commemorate this occasion. And we said, why not film? So we got some film together, and we had our very first film festival. And everyone said, what about next year? And next year became another year, and 15 years later we are back at TIFF celebrating this momentous occasion. We have so many amazing films this year, including several world premieres. What's really interesting about this year is that a lot of the films talk about different forms of activism, you know, from people managing in their daily lives to university students to, farmers picking up herbs. There's all different kinds of activism that are celebrated in these films. And the other really interesting thing that happened this year is that our films are from different parts of the Arab world. So we have films about Lebanon and films about Syria and films from the Golan Heights. And we are able to see what lives are like in different parts of the Middle East and the struggles that the people face in those different countries. So that's been really exciting for us to showcase that this year as well. Well, TPFF is a registered nonprofit organization, and we only exist because of the community and their support. So, we have our community come out, make donations, sponsor our festival. That allows us to program and bring all these amazing artists to Toronto, and buying tickets and just coming to the theater and being with us in person is probably the biggest form of support that anyone can show us. So if you'd like to support the Toronto Palestine Film Festival, tell your friends, tell your family, come on down to visit us. And if you are able to make a donation or to become one of our lovely sponsors, please be in touch. We'd love to have you part of the TPFF family. We are so excited this year to be showing the works of several artists based in Canada. The exhibit is called Weaving in Light. And we have work from two groups of artists who work in textiles. And as you can see, they've made these really beautiful creations for us to enjoy as part of the festival this year. Well, I was born in Toronto to a Palestinian father and a Lebanese mother who met in Toronto. So it's a very Canadian story. And they were very active in the community. They came in the late 60s and the mid 70s. So they were one of the early Arabs in the city, and they spent a lot of their lives working for the community, creating organizations and institutions to help Arabs in Canada, in Toronto. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so I have kind of picked up where they left off and have spent my time either as a lawyer trying to assist our community, to represent our voice, defend our rights, and then I joined Toronto Palestine Film Festival to continue that work, but from an artistic lens, to be able to tell our stories and celebrate the best talents from Palestine or from the Arab world, and to tell our narratives in our own voices through their artistic expressions.
Amazing. Did you ever feel a disconnection from the community as you were growing up here. أنت خلقانة ربيانة هون.
Yeah, I
يعني
mean,
so connected.
yeah, I mean, I think, growing up, we were very active in the Arab community, so I felt very much a part of that community as a young child. But I think when I got to my teenage years and to my university years, I did feel that disconnect. I was looking for other young Arabs who wanted to, talk about the issues affecting the Arab world, wanted to do some of that activism work. So, I was looking for that. And eventually when I hit law school, I was able to connect with fellow activists and people doing this work and find that community. And then through TPFF to try to help build and strengthen that community and give ourselves a place where we can gather in Toronto to watch art, to have discussions about them, and do that in a way where we don't have to be, where we can be super proud about it, and we don't have to hide or censor ourselves. We can be openly Arab, we can be openly Palestinian, and everyone is welcome to join us.
You make us proud, Dania.
Thank you so much. وسهلا يا جميع. فضلوا عنا احنا بدنا نشوفكم كلكم انتم من العيله. سو اهلا وسهلا فيكم بيتكم.
المهرجان بلش ب 2008 بمناسبة الذكرى 60 لنكبة الشعب الفلسطيني. البيت الفلسطيني قرر يعمل نشاطات بهذيك السنة لمدة سنة. كان أحد النشاطات إقامة عرض أفلام فلسطينية أو أفلام بتناقش القضية الفلسطينية، وتمت العروض ولقينا صار في كان في نجاح كبير لهذا النشاط، وقررنا إنه نعمل منظمة غير ربحية اللي هي مهرجان تورونتو للفيلم الفلسطيني. هناك بلش اسمه تورونتو بالستاين فيلم فيستيفال. أفلامنا متعددة، فيها أفلام فلسطينية إنتاج فلسطيني إخراج فلسطيني، في أفلام أجنبية تتحدث عن القضية الفلسطينية، وفي أفلام قصيرة كمان تتحدث بالموضوع الفلسطيني ولو بشكل غير مباشر. وأخذنا خلال 15 سنة صار عندنا برامج جديدة أن نشجع الفلسطينيين والعرب بكندا اللي عندهم إمكانية ليعملوا أفلام قصيرة كمان نعرض لهم إياها هون. يعتبر المهرجان من أهم النشاطات العربية في مدينة تورونتو، وهو مدعوم من مؤسسات حكومية كندية على المستوى المحافظة وعلى مستوى البلدية، والجالية العربية والفلسطينية بتدعم المهرجان ماديا وماليا.
أنطوان صليبة.
وخبرني شوي على الكو برزنتيشن عاملينها اليوم مع التورونتو بالستاين فيلم فيستيفال.
الكو برزنتيشن هذه أول سنة بنعملها لأنه الفيلم الليلة Eye of the Storm من بيروت، والإنتاج it's a mix لبناني فلسطيني، بس الفيلم أساساً عن لبنان. So we wanted to do something together with the Toronto Palestinian Film Festival. So السنة كانت مناسبة لأنه الفيلم لبناني. They approached us and we welcomed the idea, and then we decided to do an agreement with them to co-present this movie to show that we have a lot of similar heritage and a lot of things in common, and to show the Canadians that to give the Canadians a true and good image about Lebanon and Palestine. The Lebanese Film Festival in Toronto has been here for about 4 years, but in Canada it has been 6, and this will be the 7th year. Now we are doing one in Vancouver as we speak until the 26th of September. And we're coming to Toronto on the 29th of October, and we're gonna end it on the November the 2nd. And the first night is at the 28th will be short film presentation at the University of Toronto as well.
قد صار لك بتشتغل مع التورونتو بالستاين فيلم فيستيفال؟
بدأت معهم ب 2015 كمنظم بالكوميتي، بس بدأت من 2013 كفولنتير. صار لي معهم 6 سنين كأورجنايزر، وأظني 8 سنين كفولنتير. هاي السنة كتير رح يكون سبيشال. أول شيء هي إنه ال 15 سنة صار TPFF للمهرجان تورونتو مهرجان الفيلم الفلسطيني عم بيصير بتورونتو. هذا ريل بيج من ناحية إنه أول شيء لإلنا كلنا المهرجان الفيلم الفلسطيني هو محل نيجي بنحس فيه فلسطين. هذا أول شيء. ثاني شيء وي ويل شير كل الكوميونتي كلنا مع بعض وشير الارت، القصه تاعتنا، الميوزك، الافلام. فهذا كله بيكون يعني هيك بنحس حالنا عم نفرجي فلسطين للكنديه ولكندا. وايش الشيء المميز هاي السنه؟ عندنا كثير افلام، عندنا يعني نحن اليوم رح نبدا ببيروت عين العاصفه، عاملين زي بيسكلي يعني تحيه لبيروت، تحيه للبنان على كل يعني من فلسطين لبنان، عشان نحن بالضبط يعني ايكوال. المخرجه هي فلسطينيه لبنانيه، مي مصري. بعدين راح نختتم المهرجان بفيلم فرحه اللي كان السنه الماضيه بتورونتو انترناشونال فيلم فيستيفال، فيلم كمان كثير مهم واخذ جوائز. وراح يكون في عندنا توت ارد، فرقه من الجولان السوري المحتل، يوم السبت بأديد هول. في عندنا بانل ورك شوبس، ويعني افلام تقدر تحكي تقريبا من 15 ل 20 فيلم بين طويل وقصير من هلا ليوم الاحد. بهتم بالميوزك، البارت تاع انه الفرق اللي بنجيبها اني ثينك دخلوا بالميوزك، بس كمان بساعد بالافلام، بساعد باللوجيستكس تاع الفستيفالز وبالبروجرامينج تاع الافلام. ونسيت شيء احكي انه نحن كمان عندنا برانش اون سانداي، كمان هذا سبيشال برانش سبونسرد باي بترا ريستورانت، رح يكون بمساقا. اول مره بنروح على مساقا، ففاينلي تي بي اف عم بيعملها عم بيجي على مساقا. فكمان هذا شيء كثير مميز لل 15 سنه. مرسم كندا هي سيستر كومباني لمرسم يو كي، هم المذر كومباني، صار لهم شغالين من 2015، ونحن بديناها قبل شهرين ثلاثه بتورونتو. وهينا عم نعمل يعني التنظيم، كل الاكسبيرينس تاعتي من خلال تي بي اف اف عم بحطها مع الكوميونتي، مع الكونكشنز تاعوني للكوميونتي، عم بحطها بهلا بزنس تاعي اللي هو مرسم كندا. معي شركاء، عندنا شريكنا طبعا بلندن اللي هم مرسم يو كي، هم المذر كومباني والشريك، وعندي معي كمان دينا الوير اللي هي شريكتي هون بكندا.
وشو الهدف من مرسم؟ حسيت انه شوي عم تعملوا ايفنتات ديفرنت دان اللي معودين عليهم بتورونتو المين ستريم يعني.
يا مرسم كندا نحن لما فكرنا فيها، نحن يعني انا كشخص ما في محلات بقدر اروح عليها بحب احضر الارت العربي. يعني نحن بدنا نشوف الارت تاعنا كيف لما كنت مثلا عايش بعمان او حدا ببيروت، بنشوف الاندر جراوند ميوزك، الالترناتيف ميوزك، الباندز اللي هي نحن جيلنا بحبها. طبعا وي كفرينج كل الاذواق، بس يعني هو هذا اكثر شيء. يعني كمان one of the things اللي نحن كثير عم نعمله وهلا رح يكون سبيشال، انه كلوب نايت للعربي باغاني كلها عربيه باكشوال كلوب، يعني بداون تاون تورونتو. هاي اول مره بتصير. في كثير كلوب نايتس بيصيروا عربي بس ما بيصيروا بداون تاون تورونتو، فرح تكون باكتوبر 15. هذا اجى ريك سبيشال. انا اسمي ناجي رزاق، خلقت بفلسطين، خلقت بالقدس، نصي من الناصرة ونصي من بيت جالا. بس تركت فلسطين ب 2004 ورحت عمان، عشت هناك، خلصت مدرسة، بعدين اجيت على كندا ب 2012، فأنا صار لي بكندا تقريبا 10 سنين.
And our events showcasing Palestinian artists across Toronto. And now, 15 years later, we have a free Palestine billboard in downtown Toronto. Yeah. And no one can tear that down.
وقت بلشت الثورة كنا عم نحكي عن انه البلد ما بقى ينحمد، هسه واحد عم بيهينك من اول ما توعي لحد ما تنامي.
It reminds me of home, all the struggles, where we come from. It's like a sobering sensation of the rest of the world that we sometimes forget about when we're living here for so long. Syria. It's really sad, but it's a good reminder of what we don't get to live anymore. But everybody is connected that still lives, so yeah.
I really liked it. I loved seeing that the main characters were women and that they were empowered, especially seeing what's happening in the world at this moment. I also feel very privileged having immigrated here at 6, and I think that seeing their perspective with the pandemic was interesting, and also seeing when she talked about like being caged in her room and then in her hijab and then again in a room because of the pandemic, like I don't know, it brings tears to my eyes because so many women experience that type of oppression.
Oh, it was amazing. It was so good.
How did you feel?
I felt a lot of emotions because I have family in Lebanon and Mukhayyam Burj Al Barajne, and so to like see the experiences throughout the movie was it hit too close to home, you know?
Lebanese person, especially somebody living in the diaspora, and seeing those images as they were happening during the thawra, during the explosion, seeing how my family was reacting to during those moments. Just seeing it on the big screen was kind of reliving those events as a diaspora person because I only experienced them through the screen, so it was definitely a lot of relived emotions and like questioning my right to reclaim those emotions too. So it was really beautiful.
الفيلم كان كتير يعني تناول أكتر من شغلة، من الانفجار للثورات للوضع الاقتصادي اللي كتير كان تعبان، وأنا الصراحة إلي شي شهر جاي على كندا فعشت كل هيدا الفيلم عشته لايف، شفت كل شيء وشفت العالم كيف عم بالانفجار، يعني الجرحى شمال ويمين، وفي كتير من رفقاتي راحوا بهذا الانفجار للأسف يعني. بس يعني الشغل اللي عملوه هول بنتين كتير تعمقوا باشياء وتناولوا اشياء عن جد صعب حدا يفوت ويصور على الارض فيها. يعني اذا شفتوا بس حدا يحضر الموفي يعني بتشوفوا نزلوا على الارض وتحملوا هذا المسيل للدموع وتحملوا كتير اشياء صعبه، وان شاء الله ما بنسمع غير اخبار حلوه عن لبنان.
Very relatable movie to every Arab in the world, or somebody struggling in any environment in the world. It concentrates on a revolution, 4 characters, each one telling you the same story with their own way, how they see it with their own environment. I relate to it. Everybody in the audience related to it. It was wonderful. It wasn't too long. It was right on the spot, the length of the movie. That's what I loved about it. That's a very interesting question, how it made me feel. I wasn't happy or sad. I did not feel either happy or sad. You feel that you want to connect with their story, that they are struggling, there is a problem. It excites you to resolve the problem, to tackle it. And the message at the end, maybe next year or the following year, we come back again more, with more people, more resources, more strength, more unity. That's the message behind it. And that's how everybody should feel.
Thank you.
I thought it was a great opening. It was a full house. We're very proud of this opening night. It was a nice documentary about the Lebanese revolution and what happened in 2019 and 2020, and especially the Palestinian refugees in Lebanon and Beirut. I think it was great, and the director, Mai Masri, has done a fantastic job of putting it together, along with Noel, and we had a nice Q&A with them. So we're really excited for the rest of the weekend at TPFF. I've been an organizer with TPFF for about 7 years, and before that volunteering for about 4 years. So altogether 11 years. I think what keeps me motivated is the passion I have for making sure that the Palestinian narrative is spread here in Canada, is spread with Palestinian natives and also non-Palestinians, to make sure we can make a real change on the ground back in Palestine through arts and through really spreading information and awareness. اليوم أول يوم افتتاح المهرجان الفيلم الفلسطيني، انبسطنا كتير بحضور الجميع في أول فيلم. أنا اسمي محمود، فلسطيني من مدينة يافا، وأنا من الأورجنايزرز للمهرجان الفيلم الفلسطيني، وإحنا مبسوطين كتير للحضور والدعم من الشعب الفلسطيني الموجود بتورنتو.
حسيته حلو كتير الفيلم، يعني بيحكي عن بيروت والأحداث اللي بتصير فيها، وطبعا كتير مهم اللي بيصير بلبنان زي ما بيصير بفلسطين. كل الشعب العربي حرام like they're all hurt by the same events, kind of we're all related. It was nice, to show the other side of oppression and like government regimes that are oppressing their people. So sometimes in Palestine, it's like we're being controlled by a separate government. In Lebanon, it's a problem with their own government, and بالآخر الشعب, they're the ones who suffer. We share all of that in common. So I think it was very important to talk about that and share it with people. I felt a little bit helpless, and it was set between 2019 و 2020. واحنا هلا 2022 قاعدين بنشوف الاحداث اللي بتصير بلبنان. فكنت بطلع عليه بتفرج عليه انا يعني باحداث ثانيه بكون بفكر انه اوكي يعني ما شاء الله ثوره وثوره وثوره، وبعدين بتشوفي انت بعد 3 سنين وثوره ما فادت بشيء. فبتحسي شوي انه helpless، لانه نفس اللي بصير بفلسطين، يعني احنا كبرنا وقاعدين بنحكي ثوره ورح ترجع لنا بلدنا ورح ترجع لنا، بعدين ما بتعرفي اذا حترجع اصلا لنا بوقت اولادنا ولا احفادنا ولا كيف. بس الواحد بضل you have to keep fighting, you have to keep يعني speaking about it. اوكي، اسمي نور صالح، فلسطينيه، بابا من طول كرم، ماما من غزه، فنص نص من فلسطين. وانا هلا لسه نقلت على تورونتو جديد first time بشوف ال TPFF. Honestly, I'm loving the artistic Palestinian community, and it's just wonderful to see it as an art. The art that I do myself is a lot of portraits, but I love drawing people, and I love expressing things through people. So, يعني مثلا حبيت أرسم محمد الكرد, like رسمت sometimes original paintings of Palestinian women, just in different formats. يعني sometimes إنه شوي more abstract, sometimes it's a little bit more realistic. بس بالآخر بحس إنه for me, like that's how I can show emotion, is just through people.
She felt in this room. So when I grew up and became a filmmaker, I decided that this should be my debut feature.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I felt kind of responsibility towards this girl who I never met. Finding Farha was a journey by itself as well, and I always told my producers finding the right girl will be very difficult, and it will take time. It took me around a year and a half. I auditioned many girls, and I knew that I'm not gonna find an actress in this like age 15 or 14. Especially in Jordan, we don't have actors in this age. So I had to look for a non-actress. Someone who I can see something in her, like in her eyes, because most of the film will like the camera will be on her. I need a face that people will engage with and will like and will have empathy and will feel with. And I always say the first audition of Karam, who played Farha, wasn't good. She was very shy, and I didn't see potential in acting at all, to be honest. But what I saw in her, and we laugh about it now, like Karam and I, when we talk about it, because it's not the audition that really made me want to choose her for Farha, but her eyes were very expressive. Her face was very like. Her face took me back in time because it's a period piece, and her face was different than the other girls that I saw. And like when I took a picture of her from this side, she looked like a child, and from this side she felt like she's a young woman, and it's a coming of age film. And I felt this could really help me in shooting the film. So I took many shots from here, and when throughout the film I tried to change the angles, to play with this, to use this in a good way. So we worked, after that we worked together. I worked with her for like 4 or 5 months. I gave them a workshop.
قلبي وجعني منه، يعني احنا فلسطينيين عايشين المأساة بكل أبعادها. أنا عشت في فلسطين، بس برضو كتير وجع، كتير يعني تحسي في كل مشهد إنه كأنك رجعتي لل 48، عم بتشوف الناس كيف عانت وكيف تقتلت وكيف اتشردت. يعني بس هو يعني بصراحة فيلم كتير قوي ومؤثر، وإن شاء الله يعني نشوف أفلام أكتر وأكتر دايما. Thank you.
It was a reflecting movie about the time of the Nakba and what happened, what occurred on an individual level. So it's one story from many. and it's good that for people to know that the real human reflection and the individuals, not in the mass of the group. So that's a new. Spreading the awareness, so it must be the right thing to do every year, and bringing the Palestinian point of view to the mass. It's part of the, I would say, the survival of the Palestinian cause.
Very heartbreaking, like really touched.
It's a very powerful
Yeah, it was a very powerful story, yeah. But beautifully directed, and a lot of beautiful visuals, yeah.
Thank you.
It's so touching. It's really amazing. I don't know, it's the Nakba. And I didn't know it's a true story, but when it's a true story, it feels really devastating, you know, what happened. Yeah, but I'm happy that now people can see and realize what Nakba means to us Palestinians.